NASCAR data breach. What you need to know about the cyber attack. A shocking revelation just landed. NASCAR has confirmed that a cyber attack back in March compromised sensitive data, shaking the foundation of trust for many of its customers and stakeholders. The breach exposed social security numbers, one of the most vulnerable types of personal information. But here's where it gets controversial. The company has not disclosed how many individuals were impacted, leaving the scale of this security failure open to debate. NASCAR, known formally as the National Association for Stock Car Racing, disclosed in official reports submitted to regulatory authorities in Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts that their IT team detected the breach on April 3, 2025, prompting an immediate investigation. Despite these notices, the number of victims remains undisclosed, which raises questions about transparency and accountability. The breach occurred sometime between March 31st and April 3rd, when unauthorized actors infiltrated NASCAR's network and accessed certain files. By late June, the investigation uncovered that social security numbers were among the stolen data. This revelation is particularly alarming because social security information used for identity verification and financial purposes is extremely sensitive, and its exposure can lead to widespread identity theft and fraud. NASCAR, founded in 1948 and headquartered in Daytona Beach, Florida, oversees more than 1,500 car racing events annually throughout the United States. This data breach not only puts its customers and partners at risk, but also casts a shadow over a long-standing institution revered in American motorsports. Customer notification letters about the breach were sent on July 24th, and affected individuals are offered 1 year of credit monitoring to help detect potential misuse of their personal information. Still, many might question whether this response is sufficient given the gravity of the breach. Interestingly, NASCAR declined to comment when the Medusa ransomware group claimed responsibility for the attack in April. Medusa, notorious in the cybersecurity world, publicly listed NASCAR on its leak site and demanded a hefty ransom of $4 million. While the ransom deadline was set for April 19th, it remains unclear if the stolen data was fully released to the public. Medusa ransomware is no stranger to high-profile cyber attacks. In March, U.S. federal agencies, including the FBI, issued warnings about the group's involvement in over 300 cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure. Over the past 4 years, Medusa's cybercrimes have spanned many key targets, from governments and schools to essential service providers, causing massive disruptions and exposing personal information of hundreds of thousands. For instance, one of Medusa's notorious strikes was against Minneapolis public schools, where they exposed sensitive student information affecting more than 100,000 individuals. They have also hit the Pacific island nation of Tonga, towns in France, government agencies in the Philippines, and even tech firms linked to Canada's major banks. Rebecca Moody, a data research leader at cybersecurity firm Cyberattack, ranks Medusa among the top 10 most active ransomware groups this year. With over 100 attacks claimed and nearly 20 confirmed, the group's assault on Bell Ambulance, compromising data of over 100,000 people, highlights how widespread and damaging their activities are. This incident with NASCAR starkly illustrates how even large, well-known organizations with significant resources are vulnerable to cybercrime, and it forces us to rethink how prepared and transparent companies truly are when facing such threats. Here's the big question. Should NASCAR have been more transparent about the number of affected individuals? And what more should organizations do to protect personal data amid an ever-escalating cyber threat landscape? Share your thoughts and reactions. Do you believe the response has been adequate, or is this a cautionary tale of corporate secrecy that we should all be wary of? NASCAR confirms Medusa ransomware breach. What you need to know. NASCAR admits Medusa ransomware attack following $4 million extortion attempt. The racing world has been rocked by a major cybersecurity breach, and it's worse than initially reported. NASCAR has finally acknowledged that its systems were compromised by the notorious Medusa ransomware group, which demanded a staggering $4 million ransom payment. But here's where it gets concerning. Hackrid.com had exclusively broken this story months ago in April 2025, yet NASCAR remains silent until now. According to official documents filed with the Maine Attorney General's office, NASCAR discovered the breach on June 24, 2025, though the actual intrusion occurred nearly 3 months earlier on March 31st. What's particularly troubling is that Hackrid.com had directly alerted NASCAR about Medusa's claims on April 8, 2025, but received no response or acknowledgement whatsoever from the racing organization. While NASCAR's official disclosure mentions only that names and social security numbers were compromised, an independent examination of the sample data published on Medusa's dark web portal reveals a far more extensive breach. The exposed information includes detailed raceway maps, comprehensive staff directories with email addresses and job titles, plus credential-related data that suggests both operational systems and logistical networks were successfully infiltrated. In response to the breach, NASCAR has begun notifying affected individuals and is providing a complimentary 1-year subscription to Experience credit monitoring and identity theft protection services. This standard remediation approach may prove inadequate, given the scope of the exposed information. Interestingly, this isn't NASCAR's first encounter with ransomware threats. Back in July 2016, a prominent NASCAR racing team fell victim to a significant ransomware attack when its chief's computer became infected with a TeslaCrypt variant. During that incident, attackers encrypted all system files and demanded payment in Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Federal authorities had issued warnings about Medusa before the NASCAR attack. The Medusa ransomware operation, active since 2021, has dramatically escalated its attacks in recent years. One of their most notorious incidents targeted Minneapolis public schools in 2023, where they released sensitive student and staff information after the school district refused to pay a $1 million ransom demand. The group has established a pattern of attacking diverse targets including healthcare facilities, municipal governments, and telecommunications companies, frequently publishing massive internal document caches when victims decline to meet their demands. Just weeks before the NASCAR breach, Medusa had attracted cybersecurity experts' attention by employing stolen digital certificates to disable anti-malware protections on compromised networks. This sophisticated technique, documented in a March 25 report, enabled the group to maintain stealth and navigate through victim networks undetected. Even more telling, on March 13, 2025, both the FBI and CISA had released a joint security advisory specifically warning organizations about Medusa and recommending enhanced security measures, including implementing multi-factor authentication and monitoring for suspicious certificate activity. The $4 million ransom demand NASCAR faced represents an extraordinary escalation in Medusa's extortion strategy, explained Rebecca Moody, head of data research at Cyberattack. For context, their average ransom demand this year has been approximately $300,000, making the NASCAR demand more than 10 times their typical asking price. This could reflect either NASCAR's high-profile status or the exceptional volume and sensitivity of the stolen data. While we're still assessing the full ramifications of the NASCAR incident, it's worth noting that Medusa has already executed one of 2025's largest ransomware breaches, with Bell Ambulance reporting 114,000 affected individuals. And this is the part most people miss. Could NASCAR have prevented this breach had they responded to early warnings? Was the organization adequately prepared despite federal alerts about this specific threat? What do you think about NASCAR's handling of this situation? Should they have been more transparent from the beginning? Share your thoughts in the comments below. NASCAR data breach, Medusa ransomware attack exposed. In a shocking revelation, NASCAR has confirmed that it experienced a significant data breach due to a cyber attack that occurred in April 2025. Resulting in the alleged theft of personal information belonging to racing enthusiasts. The organization has submitted reports to state regulators, officially acknowledging the attack that took place in April 2025. However, the exact number of individuals affected by this breach has not been disclosed. To assist those impacted, NASCAR is providing complimentary credit monitoring services. The racing organization has publicly admitted to being the victim of a cyber attack and a data breach that transpired in April 2025, during which sensitive information of its fans was reportedly compromised. NASCAR took proactive measures by filing data breach notifications with attorneys general across several states in the U.S., detailing the events surrounding the incident and their response. They noted that the attack commenced on March 31, 2025, and was detected and mitigated by April 3. In the wake of the attack, NASCAR secured its network and enlisted the help of external cybersecurity experts to investigate the breach, and informed the relevant law enforcement agencies. The investigation revealed that the attackers had successfully stolen personal details, including names and social security numbers, SSNs, of individuals. Medusa takes responsibility. Although NASCAR has not provided specifics about the nature of the attack or the identity of the perpetrators, a ransomware group known as Medusa has claimed responsibility for the incident several months prior. In April 2025, Medusa included NASCAR on their data leak site and demanded a ransom of $4 million, as reported by The Record, with a payment deadline that lapsed on April 19. It remains unclear whether NASCAR complied with the ransom demand, but there is currently no evidence suggesting that the stolen data has been made public. Medusa is recognized as a persistent threat actor, having targeted several high-profile organizations, including Toyota Financial Services, TFS, in November 2023, Minneapolis Public Schools, MPS, in February 2023, and the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, in September 2023. Employing a notorious double extortion strategy, Medusa first exfiltrates sensitive files from the victim's system before encrypting the entire network. This tactic ensures that if the victim attempts to restore their files from a backup, the group can threaten to release the stolen data online, potentially leading to regulatory penalties, class action lawsuits, and other serious repercussions. While the precise number of individuals affected by this breach is still unknown, those impacted have been offered a year of free credit monitoring services through Experian Identity Works. What do you think? This incident raises critical questions about cybersecurity in high-profile organizations. How can companies better protect themselves against such attacks? Are the measures being taken sufficient? Share your thoughts in the comments below.